All right, so let's get right into it. What you're seeing here, it's not just some random list of words. Think of it more like a digital artifact. This is a collection of real thoughts, actual questions that thousands of people typed into a search bar all during one 90-minute football game. Now, at first glance, this just looks like a mess, right? It's total digital noise. A jumble of team names, Spanish phrases, abbreviations. It seems completely chaotic, almost meaningless. But believe it or not, inside all this chaos, there's a surprisingly clear story just waiting to be found. And that's really the big question here, isn't it? We're going to be like data detectives, sifting through these little digital breadcrumbs to piece together the hidden story of the match, the fans, and, what it even means to be a sports fan today. Okay, so our first step is actually pretty simple, but it's a huge shift in how we look at this. We have to stop seeing these as just, text on a screen. We need to start seeing them for what they really are. Questions from real, passionate fans. Let's start with this one right here. ¿A qué hora juega Barcelona? That's what time does Barcelona play? This is the sound of a fan literally planning their day around the game. It's the most basic question you can ask before it all kicks off. It's just pure anticipation. But now look at this one. ¿Cómo va el Barcelona? It means, how is Barcelona doing? This search is from a totally different point in time. The game's already on. This is someone who can't watch. Maybe they're stuck at work or out running errands, and they are just dying to know the score. And you see, when we start to organize these queries, a pretty clear journey starts to take shape. It's the logical way a fan thinks. First, when is the game? Then, who are they playing? And finally, once the whistle blows, what's the score? All that chaos is starting to look a lot more like a predictable human story. So let's move on to our next clue. And this one has been hiding in plain sight the whole time. It's the specific words people are choosing to use. This is where we get a real feel for their relationship with the club. Check this out. People are looking for the exact same team, but they're doing it in two really different ways. On the one hand, you've got the very formal, official name, FC Barcelona. But then, on the other hand, you keep seeing this word pop up over and over, barca. And what barca means is so important here. It's not just a shortcut for typing. It's the language of a real fan. It shows you're familiar, you feel affection, you feel like you belong. The people typing barca probably aren't just casual observers. They're part of the tribe. Okay, so we've looked at what people are asking and how they're asking it. Now it's time for the big reveal. Let's just do a simple count and see which team really owned this digital conversation. And the results, well, they're pretty fascinating. First up, the giant. When we tally up every single search that mentions Barcelona, whether it's the full name or that fan nickname Barca, the total from our list comes to 12.
Now, what about their opponent that day, Racing Santander? Well, the number of searches mentioning them is way lower. We only found 7.
And this just lays the imbalance bare. I mean, you've got two teams on the field, but in the, let's call it the digital stadium of the search bar, the entire conversation is completely focused on one global giant. Barcelona wasn't just in the game. For the online world, they were the game. So why does any of this matter? Well, because this simple little count of search terms actually tells a much bigger story. It's a story about power dynamics in sports and media today. What we're really seeing here is something like media gravity. A team like Barcelona is just so huge, their brand is so powerful that they pull all the attention in their direction. For so many people online, the search isn't racing versus Barcelona, it's just when is Barcelona playing? The opponent almost becomes an afterthought. And that's really the key takeaway here. The search bar is like this perfectly unfiltered mirror of what we're all interested in. It doesn't create the imbalance between a global powerhouse and a smaller club, it just reflects that reality, pretty brutally right back at us. Which kind of leaves us with this one big thought, right? If just a tiny handful of search queries can tell us this much, a whole story about brand power, fan behavior, media gravity, just imagine. What other incredible stories are just sitting there, hidden, in the rest of our absolutely massive and always growing digital footprint?